Ready? CashColorCannabis, a higher level of conversation, sponsored by Fronto Republic brand. And I got my other guest in the building. Hey, Tangi.
Hey, boo, hey.
If y'all should know by now, Tangi is definitely like family at this point, man. From her interviewing with us when we was doing the color green, to you done been here twice, to we just sometimes kicking and smoke weed. Like,
that's right.
You the homie, man.
Like, we're real friends.
Yeah, we are legitimate. Like,
yeah.
if you got beef with a dude, I got beef with a dude. Just point them out.
I don't like them.
Yeah, serious. Yeah, serious. Real trap. like, you got a problem, I got a problem. So, but I hit you up this weekend because I knew that you was at the Women Grow event, and I was impressed. I was looking at it when I was impressed by the color. I was like, wow, there's a lot of us in this room. I like that. And then I see you coming down the screen in this blue dress, and I was like, she got to come on the show. So, Tangi, this weekend you was part of the Women Grow event. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I had the pleasure of going to the Women Grow Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. This was the first time that it was held on the East Coast. It was normally in Colorado. And Women Grow was started about 5 years ago by a group of women in Colorado. And so it was a bunch of CEOs that got together. And I have literally seen Women Grow. I've seen that company transition, and I've seen the ups and downs that they've had. I've been privy to a lot of behind the door stuff, and I will honestly say this Women Grow was the first one that was so diverse. I'm talking about everyone was represented there at this weekend, and so it was such an amazing experience because we got to talk about shit that affected us as women, and we had a chance to bond with each other over cannabis. Like, it was a big major deal in the nation's capital.
That is a big deal, man. So I didn't know that was the first time they've held the event on the East Coast.
Yep. So it's normally on the West Coast. Every single year it's been cold as hell every time. So I was really happy for it to be in DC. It was like the perfect weather. We was having a good time out there. It was just a really awesome experience. And they had business tracks, they had wellness tracks, and they had policy tracks throughout the conference. So again, it was for women by women. So what that meant is things that we're afraid to ask maybe in a room full of men or something like that, we were able to openly ask it. We learned about money, attorney situation, business contracts, just shit we need to know.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, I get passionate.
No, I know you get passionate. That's why we friends. So what were you speaking on? Like, which track were you part of?
So I was a part of the lightning round. So it's like a TED Talks. And so I had 8 minutes to go up there and do my thug thizzle, and talk about, so my talk was called Conscious Capitalism, How to Help and Still Get the Bag.
I like that. I like that. So that was your TED Talk.
That was my TED Talk. That was it.
So what did it comprise of?
So I spoke of, so basically we're always discussing equity and diversity, and it feels like someone's offending someone every single day doing something. Yeah. And I'm just like, it literally doesn't have to be like this. There's a way for you to make money and still help people. It's not rocket science. You don't offend me, and I find out you support the things that I like. I'm liable to support your company, and I'm gonna throw money your way. So it just makes no sense to me that we're still dealing with the same conversations that we were talking about 5 years ago of please let us in, and we're asking for a license, and hopefully we'll get, like, that shit irks the hell out of me. And so at this point it's very simple. We focus on legislation. It is not a secondary conversation for us to talk about social equity. It's literally not. We discuss it coming right in the gate. If we want to legalize here in this state, we need to make sure that those disproportionately disadvantaged by the war on drugs have compensation. It's very simple.
Yeah. I would love to see us get to that point. I know this is a conversation. I would love for us to get to that point where even if it's not actual financial compensation, like you actually cash out somebody, you're gonna have to do something to kind of make right. Because memes aside, what's real is you cannot have an industry based off people who are in jail and you are currently thriving outside on this industry. That cannot exist. That cannot honestly exists. It's up there with half the country being legal, recreational, medical, and the other half not. Like, that's the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? Like, last time we had that was the Civil War. That can't exist. Like, we're living in a world of weird shit at this moment when it comes to weed. And I'm like, again, I'm blown away. But I'm definitely was in I was inspired, and I felt a lot better seeing you, and I'm not gonna lie, seeing that that level of diversity coming down my timeline, because it's not a regular thing. Like we're in this. Like when you go to these conferences, when you go to some of these seminars, you go to some of these panels, you might be the only person in that room.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Literally. So it was dope to see. I'm looking on the screen and I'm like, not only do I know them, but it's like, yo, yeah. I like that.
It was beautiful. It really was to get together like that. And I'm so proud to even be a mentee of Dr. Shonda Macias, who is the CEO of National Holistic Medical Center in DC.
Yep.
She owns a dispensary out there. She has been such an amazing mentor, just a person to look up to and look out for. Anything she needs from me, she got. And then Gia is the president of Women Grow, and she came in and she's been nothing but a trailblazer as well, someone to look up to and follow. So I just love those women, and they are running the show at Women Grow. And so you see that in that vision that you saw going down your timeline. You see what it looks like when everyone's included. Yeah,
when everybody's included. And I'm watching part of that inclusion really open up to Atlanta. You know, I was at a Women Grow event about a couple weeks ago now. Yeah, and that was dope. You know what I mean? And again, because when I walked in that room, it looked like Atlanta.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was expecting that.
That's right.
I want to see some sisters in this room discussing these conversations. It's not saying I don't want to see anybody else. It's just that I'm very well aware of the situations we're in, and it's important that we do have these people up here, and we do have these people being represented properly. Yeah, so congratulations again. I love the fact you went up there and did that. Did you meet anybody that you haven't had a chance to meet yet while you was there?
I met... Who did I meet? I mean, I just met a whole bunch of women that inspired me in so many ways, especially like the lawyers out there who are so versed in the law, because it's rare for us to meet experts who know more than us sometimes in the room, you know, with this industry being so new and us studying all the time, us really head first inside of it. But when you meet someone that else that knows legislation, is like, no, this is the direction you need to head. That's inspiring. That's motivating. Like, oh, I was spinning my wheels on this, and you came in, you gave me the answer right away. That's what happens when you connect yourself with people who are doing it just like you're doing it and surrounding yourself with positive people. So it's just a great experience.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that representation matters, that you're not going to see inclusion until you see people actually in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Like other than that, it's just really a conversation.
Exactly.
Right now, you're really spearheading inclusion, and I applaud you on that. What would you say to a sister behind you right now who's kind of watching the scene and still kind of nervous about getting involved? Like, what advice would you give her? What would you tell her when it comes to things that you have learned since you've been involved in here and things you feel like she could benefit from?
Oh, that's a really good one.
I tried, man. I'm a journalist.
Yeah, you are. I would say time waits for no man, you know, no woman. So, like, this is not going to slow down.
No.
This isn't going to go at the pace that's going to make you comfortable. It's only going to speed up. And so it is jump right in. Start with learning what's around you. What's 5 feet in front of you, you know, what events are happening right this weekend that you need to go to, so you can meet someone that might be further ahead of you that can help you even more, and you can go through that journey together. Or you can meet someone and you can go, because when I tell you, I was out in LA for 5 years, like thugging it out by myself. So I understand what it's like to do it alone. It's better with others, I guarantee you. So finding that group, that core group you can grow with, that you can learn with, and if you don't have that, finding it, going out searching for it. It's not gonna fall in your lap.
Yeah. You know, when I had you here last time, we were talking about Canada tourism and travel, man. I'm ready to hit the road with you, man. So speak to us about that. Is that something you're still dabbling in, and what can you speak about?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's my future right there. So I try to think ahead, and then at the same time I have to pay attention to what's going on right in front of me. Yeah. So it's a juggle every single day, but I got some information about Belize and Colombia, and Women Grow. We met some people from Colombia. They want me to come down there and speak, and I've already been like putting it in the universe. I recognize what Colombia is doing with cannabis, the opportunities inside that country, and I'm just like, that's what happens when you just open your mouth, you just ask, and you shall receive. Africa, I got 3 invitations Reparations for Africa.
Can we bless the continent? Can we bless the continent? Can we bless the continent, man?
In 2019, I will not leave 2019 without putting my feet and planting my feet in Mother Earth. Like, I won't do it. So I'm super excited about the opportunities that Africa is about to bring, making sure that we're not left out of Africa, making sure, like, because I see it's a trend. And it's easily just like Jamaica, just like Aruba, Bahamas, just like I see it, and we're not paying attention. No. We are not paying attention. We are not versed in what's going on. We are just listening to sound bites and media nuggets on Instagram feeds. We're not diving in, reading, and I see what's happening.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Africa, because I feel like that's a place we really need, to really start embarking on. You watching country after country after country over there decriminalize. You're watching them really start to put seeds into the ground and really start to benefit off it, and that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, like last time that Africa was trendy, we all came over here. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that we pay attention to like for real. Like last time that happened, the continent lost everything. I want to make sure that if it's trendy this round, that we bring back some blessing.
That's right.
Yeah.
As we should.
Yes, we should plan a trip out there.
We have to plan.
I've been feeling this. I've been feeling this whole like way the last couple of days. Yeah, let's do something like collectively. Let's have a collective trip to Africa.
And so it shall be. And so it shall be.
Yeah, and I'm not talking T-Bars, Africa, and Belly. Like, we're going to a place. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not just going to Africa, period. Like, we're going somewhere. Like, it's Nigeria. We're going to South Africa. We're going to be specific. Like, you're not going to convince me to just go to Africa and I'm going to say, let's get a ticket. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, we're in the air and I'm talking about how beautiful Africa is. Bro, where are you at? I have never been so high. I've never been so high and so clear-minded in my life. I watched that movie and towards the end of it, I was screaming at the screen. Where are you at, bro? Like, Africa is a continent, dog. That's like saying I'm in North America finally.
But that's what I'm talking about. Don't try to dissect Mother Africa. She all beautiful. Don't even worry about where he went. Go. That's what he's saying. Go.
That's the metaphor. That's the metaphor. Nas,
get your ass there.
You just gave Nas a reason. Now watch him use that.
He gonna use.
Watch him use that. Nas gonna be walking around telling people.
I knew exactly what you meant.
Somebody gonna ask him that question for real one day, like the 20th anniversary of Belly, 25th. So what did you mean with Africa? Man, Africa's like a metaphor, bro. Like the whole place beautiful.
You gotta think different.
No matter where you go, everything is beautiful, man. That's what's up. Yeah, we're gonna go touch that beauty. I definitely see that in our future, and I think me and you gonna spearhead that, and we're gonna get a group of folks out there.
It's done.
I'm gonna have you on again eventually, because there's another topic I want to touch on, and I feel me and you could really kind of get down on, and that's how legalization is actually affecting the black market and whether that's a good or bad thing. You know what I mean? And I do want to speak on that eventually, another episode. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where we do talk about how is this affecting people who have actually been putting money into our community for the longest, whether you want to admit it or not or appreciate it or not. We've been watching this happen, and now we're watching them people get erased and they getting replaced with money that ain't never meant us no good.
Ain't never even thought about us on this side of the world at all, ever. And now just coming through the building like, we're gonna change all of this. Yeah. This isn't working for me. That's how they feel, and that's how they doing it. Like,
look, I see you, Erica. That's why I brought it up. But you know what? That's gonna be our TED Talk part 2.
Yeah,
I was like, we gonna do that on another time.
Good one. That's a real good one.
Look, Tangi, I appreciate you for coming through as always, man. Sit back here and enjoy some of this air. We're gonna do a couple other things, but definitely kick it with us.
I want to tell them though.
Oh, sure.
So June 25th at the Gathering Spot, we're having the Georgia Cannabis Symposium. I want to invite people out to that. I definitely want Mecca there as our media person and covering it, because it's going to be dope. We're going to have Kwanzaa Hall there speaking about the decriminalization of Atlanta and how we're going to move forward collectively together. We're going to have Lisa Nicole Cloud. She is a mega businesswoman, mogul, and she is a boss. She's also on Married to Medicine. Most of you know her from that. And then we're also going to have Master Infusion Chef Swan Simpson there.
Shout out to Swan.
Shout out to Swan with Cannabistro ATL. Yes. If you guys have not supported, please go out there. She has an amazing restaurant, great quality ingredients. She'll be teaching about infusion processes and how to do your edibles and how to get around in this market legally, because we can move legally, y'all. We just have to be strategic and know the rules and how to play. So June 25th, the Gathering Spot, the Georgia Cannabis Symposium.
Word up, man. So make sure y'all support that, I'll definitely be out there to support you. You know what I'm saying? I support you 100% because you definitely the homie. Thank you for coming through, Shy.
I appreciate you so much.
And that's Cash Color Cannabis, a high level of conversation sponsored by Fronto Republic brand.